Hey everyone, welcome to the Love of Books, Movies, and Happiness. And today, instead of doing the next review that we were going to do, which was going to be a Christine Feehan book, we are instead doing J.D. Robb's Payback and Death. It is the brand new book at the moment. It's been out for a couple months now, but it's new, at least until January when Random and Death is supposed to come out. But for those of us that are reading the more current ones, Payback is our newest one to read. It is 69 in the series. And as a side note, it has been said in other interviews with J.D. Robb that she does not plan on ending this series anytime soon. So, for those of us that like a good long series that doesn't end, we have nothing to fear. Which is good news. But for Payback and Death, I just finished reading it last night. And I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Not just because she's my favorite author, although she is the one that I read the most of. It's just her writing style, her character descriptions, the background descriptions, it all makes it feel real. It's not hurried, it's not rushed. It's just you feel like you're talking and interacting with an actual person in front of you. Or like you are the character in the book and you're watching everything. It's very in the moment, first person kind of viewpoint, which I love. Her writing style is very easy to follow. It has a good flow to it. It makes sense. It's not choppy. Just something I can truly enjoy. So for the plot, her writing style, characters, and the fact that it's such a long-running series and doesn't show any signs of ending, I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. For the story itself, this first part will have no spoilers in it, so anyone can watch it. But I will be going deeper into the book as I go through this review, so at some point I will warn you before there's any spoilers. But for a basic overview of the book, for those who haven't had a chance to read it, or maybe you're just picking it up going, what is this that everyone's talking about? Done that myself. Lieutenant Eve, Dallas, and Rourke have been on vacation for the last 3 weeks. This is just following the events in Encore and Death, where they were briefly in Ireland to go after Lorcan, who was trying to kill Rourke's family. And in this book, they've been in Greece, and then their final stop for vacation is back in Ireland with family before heading home to New York. You get to see where Eve actually takes 3 weeks to relax. For once, she doesn't have any unexpected deaths to deal with while on vacation. She's not finding any crimes while on vacation. She's not even thinking about police work. She's just relaxing and enjoying being a wife, which is good to see, because admittedly in the past she hasn't had that chance. However, almost instantly after getting back home from vacation, and no sooner do they get their bags put away and they're debating what they're going to do to finish off vacation, Eve gets a tag on her device, which she's not thrilled on, because it means jumping right back into police work when they were just finishing off everything. But then she realizes that it's from Webster. Now, for those of us who have read the books before, we know that Webster is an iffy character for Eve. There was the past and his interactions with her in the past, and it's still kind of a sticky situation that she still worries over. But she also knows that he wouldn't call her to a death if he didn't think there was something odd going on. Right? So she goes to this death, and it appears to be, it's made to look, I should say, like a suicide. Except that Eve notices a couple things that just throw her off and make her think, no, it's not. As well as Webster insisting that the person would not kill themselves. After that follows an investigation that is not as action-packed as some of her other investigations, but is still very interesting to follow. You know, it's an investigation where she takes a little more time to figure out exactly what is going on. Because while she has her gut instinct as to who's involved, the facts aren't matching up to it. She can't quite connect the dots, and it's just a struggle. On top of it, Webster is struggling to be impartial, and it's just something that she's just trying to get figured out. Book-wise, this is one of the more calmer plots, we'll say. It still has its death in it. It's still got some action to it, but it's not as jam-packed with action as some of her other books have been. You know, it's not constant movement and constantly everything's happening and she's racing against the clock. Okay, well, she is, but she isn't. You know, there's more than one death in the book, and she's trying to stop that from happening again. But it's not like a terrorist group or anything like that. So it's one of her more calmer books. We also get a sneak peek, well, not a sneak peek, but we get to see more in the Peabody and Mavis and Leonardo's house. And we get to see how that's going along and the fact that things are going well with them. We also kind of get to see Eve and Somerset kind of relax on their interaction, just briefly. It's never going to change completely, but it's briefly relaxed. So it is a very enjoyable book. One that I fully believe everyone who picks it up will enjoy it for various reasons. Whether you're more into the romance side of it with Mavis and Leonardo and Peabody and Herman, or Eve and Rourke, or you're in it for the cop part of it. There's something in it for everyone. I really enjoy it. So I definitely suggest you read it, because it is an awesome book. Now, the rest of this, spoiler alerts, do not follow the rest of this if you have not read the book yet. If you have not read the book, then please enjoy yourselves. Check out my other videos. Like, subscribe, and follow. I have a Facebook page as well as my YouTube. And check out any other reviews I've done. But for those of us who have read the book, spoilers are following. Webster and the victim are friends. The guy's almost like a father figure to him. I actually took notes because I knew that I'd forget a few names. So the victim is Captain Greenleaf of IAB, which is the inter-department rat squad, pretty much. They're investigating their own police officers. Greenleaf is a very by-the-book, black and white personality. For him, there's right and there's wrong, and there's no in-between on that. Nothing wrong with that. You need that in a person who's looking in the wrong cops. You know, you need to have someone who can not waver from what they believe. It also meant he wasn't necessarily liked by everyone, but he is a cop, so they will do their best to bring him justice. And even though he's not fully liked by everyone, they still want justice for his name. You know, it's something Feeney struggles with, and that he didn't like him, but he respected him. Same with Eve. She wasn't a fan of him, but she respected him at the same time. And for Webster, like I said, he was a father figure, so seeing what happens to him is just heartbreaking. And then on top of it, Webster had planned on telling him, never got the chance, but planned on telling him that he was going to be turning in his badge and retiring so he could go off planet with his interest of Darcia, the cop he met from off planet who he's been going and seeing when he can get some time off. So Webster ends up telling Eve, hey, once this case is over and that, I'm turning in my badge, I'm going off planet with Darcia, and we're going to see how things go. And Eve is a little surprised, doesn't quite get it until Darcia comes because of what happened with the father figure. And then Eve gets it. She's like, okay, I see it. Good luck with everything. She wishes him well. Doesn't understand why he wants to go off planet, but she wishes him well nonetheless. It's a really sweet interaction, and it's a really nice way of seeing Webster kind of moving on. Because in other books, he thought he was in love with Eve when he wasn't, and then he got stupid for that one time, and Rourke had to punch him, and it just, it's a good close to a tricky situation. It's interesting to see how it's wrapped up, and I'm sure he's not completely gone from the picture. Neither is Darcia. I'm sure at some point they'll reappear somewhere within the series. I find it hard to believe otherwise. But other than that, there's not too many bombshells other than the killer has ties way back. I do mean way back in history to another person that was taken down because he was a bad cop that Greenleaf went after. And then, of course, the current crime kind of matches the past crime. So the apparent suicide matches what the original bad cop did because he didn't want to face everything. And then the following crime of the attempted murder of the current cop's son is supposed to look like suicide. Well, that matches the older crime where the son of that cop ends up committing suicide because he couldn't handle it. The killer is a very narcissistic personality. She's very much doesn't want anything but her in the picture. So her current man, he's not even allowed to have pictures of his family because she doesn't want anyone but her in his life. So to me, there's more than one set of victims. There's victims that is killed, the victim that's almost killed, and then there's the husband of the killer who is in a mentally unstable relationship, essentially. To me, he's a victim as well. And then, of course, throughout the book, they manage to close a couple other cases that open up where cops aren't being good and they're able to just kind of solve a few other things and just clean up a little bit. So if you enjoy the series, definitely check this book out. If you've read the book and you like it or don't like it, feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I'm always happy to talk about the books I read. Let me know if there's something you didn't like about it, what your favorite part of the book was. Who's your favorite character? Is it Eve? Rourke? Peabody? Her guy? Leonardo? Mathis? Or is it just all of them at once? That's always a good question. Alright, guys. Until next time, keep reading.